Thank you, Father Norfolk, Father Kelly, Reverend Fathers, any honored guests, and my dear brothers. I was born and raised into a devout and practicing Catholic family. I'm the youngest of 5, and faith was very much so a part of our everyday life. In going to Mass on the weekends, and we were homeschooled so that our parents would be able to teach us the faith. And I remember ever since a very young age, I had this desire in myself to pursue greatness, to go all in on whatever it is that I was going to go into. And since I had this Catholic foundation, I decided from a young age that I wanted to go all in on the Catholic faith. But I didn't know what that looked like or what that meant. I remember one class we were taking for our homeschooling in middle school. We were listening to this talk from Dr. Edward Surrey, and in it he was explaining what the end goal or purpose of man's life is. And I remember what he said. He said, "We are made as men and women, we're made for relationship." And I remember as a middle school boy thinking, wow, that's really lame. And looking back on it now, I think it's because I had this idea that what we were made for is to follow the commandments or something like that. And so what that looked like for me growing up is that I put a lot of pressure on myself. I had this twisted mindset that my identity came from what I was doing. And so for really a very long time, and to be honest, still today, I struggle with perfectionism, with putting my identity in what I do. And so what that looked like is in academics and in sports and even in relationships, again, just putting this pressure on myself in my performance. And then moving into high school was a very difficult time for me in a lot of different respects because I was struggling with some habitual sins. And that left me feeling very internally divided because on the outside I was this good practicing Catholic young man from a respectable Catholic family, but I knew that's not how I was living. And during this time too, I noticed within myself that I had this desire for relationship, and that wasn't really being fulfilled because of that feeling divided in myself. And I hadn't yet started a consistent prayer life, so I wasn't experiencing that relationship from the Lord. What I think kind of changed that in me, though, was my junior year of high school, I started a consistent prayer life. And in that, in being able to share what was going on with the Lord, to be honest with the Lord, started to heal my brokenness and my woundedness, and eventually broke me out of my cycle of sin. From being able to be honest with the Lord. And so my senior year, I experienced a lot of freedom from sin, and just feeling more integrated, more whole, more honest with the Lord, letting Him see me as I really am. And that freedom gave me the potential to discern coming to seminary. The reason I came to seminary was because I wanted to discern the Lord's call for me, and because I wanted to be formed as a man. And I can easily say that seminary has been the best decision I've ever made, to come to seminary. And it's also easily been the hardest thing I've ever done. Seminary has brought me face to face with all of my weaknesses and sin. And the Lord, through spiritual direction, through various retreats that we have, through our consistent prayer life, has met me in those places, though, and showed me that He loves me there just as I am, and that I don't first have to overcome those things to get my worth from overcoming those things, but that He loves me even before that. In addition, the Lord has shown me that this desire for relationship that I have is not actually my desire. That it is His desire that He's placed in me and that He means to fulfill. Through all the experiences of encountering the Lord's love for me, I've experienced the most freedom, peace, and wholeness that I've ever felt before. I don't yet know what the Lord is calling me in regards to a specific vocation, but I do know that he is calling me to a deeper intimacy with himself. For all the ways that the Lord has revealed himself to me and called me to himself, I say, praise be Jesus Christ.